Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. Real quick video today. Wanted to talk a little bit about models for the Doomed. Yes, the Doomed is like the new hotness in tabletop gaming lately. New game from Osprey, relatively new. If you're watching this around the time that it came out, I'm super slow getting these things uploaded, but that's on me. If you haven't had a chance to check it out though, cool miniatures agnostic game. You could go from fantasy to grim, dark, apocalyptic, kit bash to your desire, whatever kind of cobbled together, miscreants you feel like scraping by and, this reality is coming to an end type of game. But for me, these types of games, as much fun as it is building that headcanon for your, characters that inevitably die within 2 turns after you spent countless weeks putting them together and painstakingly painting them, the real draw for me is always the monsters with these types of games. And so you have like these kind of classic archetypes that then have the horrors and then they have their minions. So I'm always on the lookout for cool and interesting models. And if you want to hear more about the game, well, there's probably better channels that'll give you the blow by blow. I'm horrible about that, but who knows? One of these days, maybe I'll try to improve that. But I saw this model recently from Archvillain Games, and this guy just screams, I want to play the Doomed. This is the Gnarlgosot. And just look at it. He's got a big old fun, nice mask on, and then he's got this cape that there's just nothing but tentacles underneath. There's no head even. It's just like a mass of tentacles with skulls and bill hooks and bones everywhere. It's just a fun, weird model in his little fringed carpet cloak thing. I thought he had a bunch of masks, but I guess not. I was looking at some of the other models. This was a recent set. Actually, this guy was the first of a new set of just various monsters that Archvillain was putting out, which they are often wont to do. I know they have their Archvillain Society that they've been doing for a while now. It's funny, I really like Archvillain stuff. I don't put it as much on the channel, not because it's bad, but because they're kind of big, and I like pointing out smaller, more up-and-coming artists, but there's no denying that they put out really nice stuff. Sometimes it's a little too nice, so I thought this guy would be a great model for fighting as a horror in the Doomed, just because of his sheer weirdness. And if I was going to go with some similarly themed minions, which is what I was really after, again, from that same release, we have the Tosi. And the Tosi are pygmy little people with modular hands that are both wearing masks and riding on top of each other. Because why not, right? They have a very Carnevale look to them, obviously. And if you are into games like Carnevale from Tabletop Combat, these might be interesting models to use in said system. I have a couple of the other Tosi here. This one in particular I was quite fond of, with his stuffed horse head with the tongue lolling out of it. And you can see he's got like the little viewing slot there. Most of them aren't really wearing clothes. They've got like loincloths on. And as always, I feel like sometimes Archvillain just wants to show that not only do they have the best sculpted stuff, but they're gonna like make you go over, above, and beyond what you need to do sometimes in order to get these guys off of their supports. There's just a lot of details, like lots and lots of very small, intricate details. This is a fun one too, because to me these guys scream just the perfect minions, and they're all wearing the masks to kind of go with the thematic theme of Gnarlgosot. Even the name sounds like some kind of minion of an elder god. And then, just because, if we're already going to be printing stuff, I tried printing some of their Harlequin ruffians. And again, just crazy detailed sculpts. Sometimes I can't tell what needs to stay and what needs to go. Probably after I prime things, it's a little bit easier. Like at first I thought that this was a knife in his hand. Nope, turns out that's just the nose of one of the masks. He's got like a, looks like a cleaver in his hand there behind his back. I can't tell if that's a random support by my thumb there, or if that's the nose of the mask as well. Everybody's wearing masks, because why not, right? If you're in Venice or something. Florence, I don't know. I thought this guy was pretty cool. Interesting pose. Those necklaces were a pain in the butt. You can see all the various doodads and trinkets hanging off him and his cloak there. It's going to be for some fun painting for sure. And while we were at it, this was, what was this? Stronio, I think was his name. He was an extraplanar assassin. Again, from Archvillain. When I see too many swords and weapons on a character, I cannot resist. You can see there's still little supports in between his fingers there. Just lots of fun little tiny details. You can see the keys hanging off of his tentacles there on his face. The straps, I mean, yeah, you can still see I've got a few more supports I got to pluck out there between those tiny straps. That's going to be fun, considering how far zoomed in it is at this point. That's going to be a challenge to clean all that out. There's no denying it looks neat. It's definitely different, and for that I got to give them some respect, because this is not your usual release, but you know what? Archvillain tends to do their own kind of thing anyways. Can't argue with that. So if you're looking for some weird, creepy, disturbing models, this release, their Canals, I don't even remember what the set was called now. Shoot. Canals is something. I mean, they even had like guys on floating gondolas, which might be cool for some of like the Soulblight Reapers or whatever I don't even remember what the floaty guys are called anymore for GW games. My god, I'm really losing it. But yeah, so if you haven't seen these, Archvillain does have their fantasy, and they're starting to move into the modular stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't print any of the modular guys yet, but like those Tosi, the little midget dudes, riding piggyback on each other, those absolutely did have modular options, which was kind of a cool thing to see. Can't recall many models from Archvillain at this point really supporting that. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll see more going forward, especially with their sci-fi stuff. I know they've had a lot of options and variants available for their sci-fi lines, but full-on modular, not so much. So here's to hoping, right? I definitely think they've got some fine craftsmen working for them, so hopefully we will see more of that in the future. And I'm looking for my usual friendly witch hunter, just to give you guys an idea of what to expect in terms of size if you're going to print these out at their native resolution. So you can see here at least our big Abomination Horror stand-in is going to be a good sized model to harass and swallow and torment and absolutely murder your heroes on the tabletop. We'll put a link down below as always, and if you want to check it out, by all means, go right ahead, and hopefully we'll find something that you enjoy as much as we do. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.